God damn, what's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and we are back once again playing some more of Marvel Future Fight. And for this one, man, I had quite a few of you guys requesting that I give y'all my top 30 favorite uniforms currently in Marvel Future Fight. So that is what we're going to be doing for this one. Now, like I always say, it's all a matter of perspective. So your top 30 may look completely different from mine, and that is completely fine. Please feel free to leave yours in the comment section below, because there's 172 different uniforms in the game. It's damn near impossible for everyone's top 30 to look the exact same. Okay, that being said, boys, let's jump right into it. So all these characters that you see I have favorited, these are the characters that we're going to be talking about in this video, because these are the uniforms that I absolutely love as of right now. Now, this list is not in any particular order, so it's not going to be 1 to 30, that kind of deal. Nah, I just love all of these uniforms because they bring something amazing to every single one of these characters. Now, I'm not going to do a full in-depth review for every single uniform, because if we do that, we'll be here until tomorrow. So I'm just going to list off a couple main reasons as to why I chose to purchase these uniforms and why I enjoy using them even now. And if those reasons are good enough for you, then you should probably pick up these uniforms if you don't already have them. That being said, we're just gonna go with Captain America since he's at the top here. Now, the main reason I bought this uniform for Captain America is because it gives him what he desperately needed. He needed more damage. The base kit for Captain America, great survivability, but no damage. In this uniform, even without the tier 3 skill, right, he has really good damage, and he even gets better in the survivability department because he gets new iframes, something that was foreign to Captain America before he had no iframes, but now he actually has 2 iframes, and he has a big attack buff right here on his 5th skill to give him even more damage. The uniform, solid, boys, solid. Next uniform I want to talk about is actually Sharon Rogers. Now, I picked up this uniform for 3 major reasons. One, I absolutely love Sharon Rogers, and chances are, even if the uniform was pure garbage, while I would have been extremely disappointed and very pissed off, I probably would have still picked it up just because of how much I like the character. Yeah, I gotta be completely transparent with you guys. But the other 2 reasons are actually really good. Her new skills, even though the way how you play the character is basically still the same, which is 3 into 5 into 4, and even the tracking issue that was there with the previous uniform is still here on this uniform to this day, the skills actually hit really hard. The second reason is actually because of the uniform bonus. Now, while she's actually losing the ignore dodge that's on this uniform, which is actually really good, the chain hit that's on this uniform right here is actually amazing. It's actually amazing, so that's why I was initially interested in picking up this uniform. The aesthetics is really good as well. Next is actually Luna Snow. Now, there's multiple reasons to love this uniform besides the aesthetics. The new skills actually hit harder, especially the 3 skill. The Entice is actually really good now. It's basically instant. You can hit enemies from super far away, and the heal on the 5th skill is actually at the beginning now as opposed to being at the end. So those are the major reasons why you should pick up this uniform. Thankfully, they reworked it. Next up is my guy Thor. Now, the major reason for picking this up is because it's Thor. Okay, anyways, but seriously, all joking aside, it's because it gives him amazing survivability with incredible damage. The damage on the 5th skill is insane. You can basically one-shot anyone in PvP, and it does incredible damage in PvE. But on top of that, obviously you're seeing for yourself, he gets damage immunity. This is also an iframe, and on top of that, he actually has 2 additional iframes, one on the 4 at the end and another on the 1, and he has a guard on the 3 skill. So those are the major reasons why I chose to pick this up for Thor. Can't wait to see what they give him for endgame. Hopefully there is something for him for endgame. Yes, I want another Thor uniform, even though I have them all already. Don't ask me why. Okay, I'm crazy. Maybe I just want to spend money for no reason. I don't know. Anyways, next up is my baby Scarlet Witch. Now, there's a multitude of reasons why you should pick this up, but the number 1 reason is no, it's not the mind control. Well, it is the mind control. Okay, it's the mind control because mind control is the new meta, and basically mind control just guarantees that you win all your fights. if the enemy doesn't have debuff removal. But the number one reason why I should pick this up is because it's Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch is the queen of this bloody game. I'm just playing, man. Like, Scarlet Witch is just so freaking awesome that I could sit here and tell you guys how awesome she is for days. But just trust me, pick this uniform up, you won't be disappointed. I have it at Mythic. She's never let me down, ever, in anything, right? But the mind control is definitely one of the major reasons to pick this up. You can play Scarlet Witch without the uniform, but believe me, once you play her with the uniform, you'll never go back. Wish she had the summons, but hey, I'll take mind control any day of the week. Next up is my guy, Thanos. Honestly, at first I hated on this uniform, but I absolutely love it now after playing with it extensively. I can't go back to playing with this one. Honestly, I would say don't buy this one. Don't buy this one. Just stick with this one. The major reasons to love it is simply because of the fact that it gives him the ability to penetrate basically everything, and he actually can remove all active buffs from everybody. So this is actually really good, and those are two of the major reasons why he's so dominant in PvP. Next up is Cable. Major reason to pick this up is because it's Cable. Cable already deals insane damage. He's gonna deal even more damage in this uniform, but seriously though, it's the uniform bonus, okay? Chain hit. Whenever you see chain hit on a uniform, it's a uniform that is probably gonna be worth purchasing. I'm just saying. Next up, Emma Frost. Now, Emma Frost uniform bonus doesn't really seem like much, but I personally prefer how she plays in this uniform. Much more damage on the 5th skill. I find her a little bit smoother to play. Maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me, or maybe it's Emma playing tricks on me. I don't know. And I also like the fact that she can actually reflect enemy attacks back at them, even though it's not listed here. But in PvP, it's actually really annoying when you find a well-built Emma Frost, but it's also really satisfying when you do it to somebody else, right? So yeah. Love Emma Frost in the uniform. Kinda sad she's so expensive, and that's the reason why the uniform is still at normal. Basically, every other uniform besides Emma Frost and maybe X23, I didn't start her yet, is at Legendary or Mythic. Next up is actually my guy Pietro, out here looking like Barney. Always gotta make fun of him for rocking his PJs, but this uniform is no joke. You should definitely pick it up. Two major reasons to pick this up. One, the uniform bonus. Like I said, whenever you see chain hit damage increase on a uniform, boys, you definitely want to pick it up. Chances are the uniform is going to be amazing, and if the character is already really good, the chain hit is going to make them even better. The second reason to pick it up is because without this uniform, Quicksilver's 3rd skill will override any and all attack buffing ISO sets, right? But with this uniform, the new 3rd skill replaces the attack buff with damage accumulation, which is even better, right? So that's the two major reasons to pick this up. The next character on this list for me is actually one of my favorite PvP characters currently in this game, Corvus Glaive, the boogeyman of the Black Order. And if you guys have been following me for any length of time, you already know how I feel about this guy. I honestly feel like he's one of the best PvP characters in this game, and a lot of people sleep on him. He's so freaking powerful. But the uniform, the major reasons why you should pick up this uniform, it starts with the uniform bonus. 15% increase to physical attack and another 15% increase to damage dealt to superhero types, okay? 90% of the characters that you fight in PvP are heroes. Outside of Thanos and Strife, I can't really think of anybody else that's a supervillain that's really dominant in PvP right now. So you basically always have a 30% damage increase just from the uniform bonus. And on top of that, his 2-3 combo can basically kill anyone because you're chaining 2 iframes back to back, and they actually deal really good damage. He also has damage immunity with an attack buff on his 5th, and he actually has the summons with a guard here. And he's just always hiding in iframes. It's just so amazing to watch him do his thing. So freaking powerful. If you have a CTP of destruction and you give it to him, monster. Honestly, he's a monster. Next is actually this guy. Believe it or not, last year, boys, at this time, okay, I was contemplating if this guy was even worth building. Now, thanks to this uniform, he's one of the best characters in this game. He's so freaking powerful because of the uniform, man. He has healing, and Actually, his uniform bonus itself is actually pretty decent. You can see for yourself, it gives him decrease to all damage received, which is pretty good because before he couldn't take any freaking damage. But now he can actually take a beating and dish it out as well. Like, he's actually strong enough to break 1,000,000 points in ABX. That's how strong Cull Obsidian is. But that's not where it ends. Healing is now in this guy's kit with damage accumulation. He also has all defense down, but this does not actually apply to world bosses. So that's kind of unfortunate because if that was the case, he would be so much stronger. Still, he's very, very powerful. Absolutely love this uniform. Next up is actually this guy right here, man. This old geezer. Now, the major reasons why you should pick this uniform up is because of the 10 seconds of mind control. The downside to this is if you miss, you're losing a lot. But when it hits, the enemy's at your mercy for 10 whole seconds. That's one of the major reasons why I should pick it up. The next is actually because now with this uniform, he can actually be used as a support character as well. And the fact that he actually has a good leadership, it means you can use him as a leader and a support at the exact same time. That is freaking awesome. He's really, really useful in this uniform for World Boss Ultimate. I use him basically every single day. His overall kit is pretty good in this uniform, but the leader and support thing is the main reason to pick this up, honestly. But the mind control is clutch to have. It really is. Next is actually my Old Bay, the first tier 2 native I ever worked on. Shout out to Proxima. I still love you, girl. Still love you, girl. This uniform, the uniform bonus itself doesn't really offer that much, but what Proxima gets in this uniform is that she now has really good survivability because she actually has 5 iframes. They're not all full iframes, they're partial iframes, and a few of them are actually situational iframes, but she's actually much smoother to play. And before, she was just all damage and no survivability. Now she has really good damage and really good survivability as well. So this uniform just kind of fixes what was wrong with the base kit of the character. So as a fan of Proxima, I definitely recommend this uniform. Next up is actually my guy Stephen Strange. Honest to God, the best reason why you should pick this up is the uniform bonus, because this reflect is nasty, boys. The reflect is nasty. Now, you get similar amount of reflect from this uniform, but honestly, boys, in this uniform, I find that I die so freaking easy when I go up against a really well-built Doctor Strange. He also recovers more, and this annoying one skill that can hit you, stun you, and bind you while you're in an iframe is no joke. Always, and I mean always, use debuff immunity when you go up against my guy Steven. Otherwise, you're in for a very, very painful fight if he's built any kind of decent. Next is actually X-23. Now, being an X-23 fan, I absolutely have to recommend this uniform because it fixes what's wrong with the base kit of the character, which is basically no damage at all. You can see for yourself, she gets a 25% increase to her damage. She desperately needed that. The skill changes, really nothing to write home about, but the 4 skill actually hits really hard now. Main reason to pick it up though is the damage increase. She really needs that. Next up is actually my guy, T'Challa, the Black Panther. Now, this uniform is basically the only way to play Black Panther in this game. Do not buy this one. It's only for aesthetics. That's the only reason why I own it. And honestly, boys, even with this uniform, Black Panther is still kind of disappointing to me because 1, 2, 3, and even the 4 don't hit that hard. But the 4 in this uniform offers him a 40% all attack buff, which makes the 5th skill, when you use it, do really good damage. Overall, Black Panther is a very, very good character, but still, I want more since I'm a really big fan of Black Panther. If his other skills hit any kind of hard in the future, I'll definitely give him his tier 3. That's the only reason stopping me right now. I love the character, but I can't justify getting him to tier 3 with the other skills just being so lackluster. Next up is actually the Hulk, and the number one reason why you should pick this uniform up is because this is basically the only way to play the Hulk in the game right now. The other 2 uniforms are pure garbage, unfortunately, so if you're a Hulk fan, you have to pick this up or wait until endgame and hope he gets something better. But similar to Black Panther, the 1, the 2, and the 3 doesn't really hit that hard. Unfortunately, the majority of his damage is actually on the 4 and the 5th skill, and the 5th skill actually has a really long cooldown. So hopefully for endgame, Hulk gets something else that makes him even better. Now, moving on, we have Hulkbuster. This is a must-buy uniform for me simply because I don't see Hulkbuster getting anything else in the future, and this uniform is actually really good. The uniform bonus itself offers him damage reduction, and on top of that, he actually gets a heal, something I never thought that Hulkbuster would get. He actually gets a heal on his 5th skill, and he gets a guard on his 4th skill. Really good to go along with the fact that he has damage immunity already in his kit. So really good character, really good uniform. Next up is actually the Punisher, and this is basically the only way to enjoy playing the Punisher in this game as of right now. This one, he makes him playable, but you still can't enjoy playing with the character. With this, he has a really good damage and decent survivability because he has a couple iframes and a guard as well. Still kind of dicey with him when you take him into World Boss Ultimate, but he still holds it down. Next up is an absolute must buy from me. If you're a new player, if you're struggling with World Boss, you absolutely need to buy this uniform now. If there's a uniform sale going on, pause the video, get in the game, buy the uniform. Believe me, you're doing yourself a service. If you don't have it, you're doing yourself a disservice. Must buy uniform, okay? Couple reasons why. When he's on your team, he provides you with a 15% max HP recovery. That alone is really good. However, when you don't have him on your team, we're not even talking about the fact that this is the only way to play Venom in the game, and when you're playing him in this uniform, he's basically immortal because when you hit the 5th skill, he'll bring himself back from the brink of death to full HP. We're not even talking about that. We're just talking about what he provides you when he's being used as a support character. Seriously, this 4 skill right here is truly one of the best things to happen to this game. Honestly, if you're struggling in World Boss Ultimate, use this guy as a striker, and believe me when I say some of your weakest characters will perform some really impressive feats because of the recovery Venom symbiotes that he drops when he pops in as a striker. He's truly invaluable, guys. You gotta pick him up. Next up is actually Inferno, and I absolutely love how Inferno looks in this uniform. I think it looks really cool, but besides that, his uniform actually gives him amazing survivability because it gives him max HP recovery. It gives him a long iframe on the 4 with longer damage immunity. That's basically everything the character needed to excel because the base kit didn't have any kind of survivability. The damage has always been really good. Even at tier 1, he's stronger than some of the tier 2 characters in the game, but he didn't have any survivability at all. This uniform is an absolute must if you're a fan of the character. Next up is actually Iron Man. The main reason why you should get this is actually because it has insane damage on the 5th skill, but with endgame around the corner, you can bet Iron Man is going to get another uniform. So if you don't own this yet, you can probably skip it, wait a few months, and he's going to get a new armor. It's pretty much guaranteed. Okay, next up is actually Starlord. Now, a couple major reasons why you should get this. He gets a slightly better leadership, and on top of that, you get some really cool animations. Honestly, his 4 skill animation is one of the coolest animations in the game for me. I don't care what anybody else says. And he has a really good damage and very good survivability. Multiple iframes. Starlord can hold it down in this uniform. The other ones, pure garbage, pure freaking garbage. But in this one, Starlord is a G. Next up is actually my guy Rhodes, and honestly, this uniform is a must-buy for him because the other ones are just pure garbage as of right now. But honestly, ultimately, I think you should just wait until endgame if you don't already have this, because chances are Tony's gonna cook something else up for him for that final showdown with Thanos. But if you want something to use in the meantime to kill shit with, definitely pick this up because he actually has insane damage with decent survivability. No other uniform offers that. The damage is mediocre and the survivability is non-existent. Next up is actually the Wasp. Now in this uniform, the Wasp doesn't have insane damage, nothing like that, but her survivability is very good. She can live a very long time and she can hold it down in PvP against the best of them thanks to her 1-2 combo. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. That's basically it. You don't even have to use the barrier on the freaking 5th skill, okay? But besides that, the uniform bonus is actually really good. Most people sleep on it, but the HP increase to all your allies in PvP is very very, very good. And on top of that, obviously her leadership gets better, and her leadership was already really good. So shout out to the Wasp, man. She's actually really good. This uniform right here is a must buy for me, simply because of the long immunity that it gives Shuri on her 5th skill. But on top of that, her tier 2 passive gets better. Next up is SpiderMan. Now I love the Iron Spider uniform, so I gotta put it in here, man. Rocking 5 iframes, multiple stuns, multiple web skills. Gotta show my guy PD some love. I own every uniform and I would buy them all again, but I love this one, so I have to recommend it to you guys. It's freaking awesome. Next up is Miles. Oh my goodness, yes boys, Miles is on this list, man. Uniform is freaking amazing, guys. Freaking amazing. Really good damage, very good survivability, fun to play. Absolutely love Miles. Gotta put him here. Next up is Winter Soldier. Honestly, if you've been around the block, you should already own this uniform. It's a must buy. You gotta get it to Mythic. This guy is a different creature altogether once you pick up his uniform. Without it, he's a bum. Straight useless, pure garbage. Filth. Okay, he's an F tier character, and F is for filth. Pure filth. Okay, but with this, I would say he's a solid A+, maybe even an S class, okay? He's a freaking beast. Certified beast, boys. Next up is actually Loki, and honestly, boys, this is a must buy for me, man. I absolutely love Loki. I'm a big fan of all the Asgardians, but this uniform, I have to recommend it. The damage is good. The survivability has always been great. The summons actually hit way more often and do way more damage in this uniform. It's a must buy. Make sure you don't waste any of your crystals on this garbage. It looks really cool, but it has no real value besides that, okay? If you want to play with the base with a skin on top of it, that's what this is. So if you have crystals to waste, go ahead and do that. Lastly, I have to include Satana in here because of the fact that this uniform is super fine. Okay, now I'm just playing, but anyways, besides how the uniform looks, it offers her survivability, which is basically non-existent without the uniform. Sure, she gets 10 seconds of immunity here, but this is not enough for me without the uniform to keep the character alive. So with the new guard that she gets on the 5th skill, she's actually much easier to play. And since as of right now, she's probably the best universal superhero female in the game for ABX, this uniform is a must buy. However, with Captain Marvel getting her movie very soon, she's gonna get dethroned, but still a very solid purchase. But that is it for this one, boys. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out Miss Thickness. Goddamn. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Please feel free to leave your top 30 in the comment section below. Goddamn, boys. Goddamn. I'm terrible. I know, boys. I'm terrible. I know.